is the real truth. But to take us to that, all these are necessary. Lot of theory, etc., so that you can put your mind to understand. They will particularly make it very difficult. We are trying to make it easy, but actually we should make it difficult. So that you have to engage your mind fully, mind and buddhi fully. When we have to engage our mind and buddhi fully, that means the mind and buddhi are interacting with these concepts. It is not just the truth is told and you know the truth and you are gone, oh, Atma is like this, Atma is universal, it is transcendental. No, nothing will happen by that. The constantly reading about, studying about, ruminating on, analyzing about it, if it is so, then why this is happening? It is said it is nirlepa, it never gets affected, then why I am getting affected? I always feel that my eye is always affected. Then where lies the garbad? Where lies the difficulty? When we constantly ruminate, think about it, by that process, the mind and intelligence undergo a transformation. That is what is the sadhana. And by that, the Navanita of this, Kaivalya of this truth floats. It is called Kaivalya Navanita. Navanita, you understand? Butter. In buttermilk, we churn the buttermilk. Churn till the butter comes out of the curd. And when the butter comes out and it gets integrated, then it will float in the milk. It doesn't get mixed with the milk again. In the buttermilk, it floats. So like that, by churning by our sadhana, whatever we are doing, by that, the truth becomes like the butter floating in the world. It doesn't get mixed with the worldliness anymore. It remains, even if you interact with the world, it remains intact, floating. So, this is what happens. Now, immediately Krishna had a doubt that as Arjuna has been behaving all along, every time he speaks about this state, the final attainment, Arjuna says that, why are you then asking me to fight? I will take to this, because he has no karya. He said that one who is like this, he will not have anything to do, no duty, nothing. So naturally Arjuna will again say that, then why am I fighting? But he will not think that, oh, I am not Atmarati, I am not Atmatriptaha, I am not Atmani eva santushtaha. This is the state of all seekers. They will not judge their own condition, but they will want the highest state. We should always look at ourselves and then find out what is to be done, what is not to be done. So naturally he cautions, tasmat, therefore asaktah satatam karyam karma samachara. You do all the whatever to be done, you do, but remaining asaktaha, that means not clinging to what I am calling the carrot of happiness at the end. That by doing this I will win the war and win the kingdom, and then sitting on the throne I will enjoy the kingdom and then I will become happy. Last is the carrot of happiness, I will become happy. That is the insufficiency, that I am not happy, so I want happiness from the world. So asaktaha means not to cling to that carrot. Asakto hi acharan karma param apnoti purushaha. That whatever, if we do whatever we are doing, if we can do it with remaining asaktaha, then we can attain the highest. So if you leave the karma, then it will not happen like that. You have to do the karma remaining asaktaha, then it will take you to that. Because this churning is necessary. If you leave the karma, then that churning will not take place. It will take place for the jnananishthas, those who are given to exclusive knowledge pursuit by their pursuit of knowledge. But most of the people are not fit for taking up the exclusive pursuit of knowledge. Their mind will not get fixed on it. So for them the karma is essential as an instrument of liberation by which their chitta shuddhi, their mind, intelligence, everything will get purified, and this butter, the kaivalya, will come and it will start floating. That means they will be attaining the state. Then also Krishna is not fully sure that Arjuna's mind is clear. So he says that, well, even if you think that you have attained like that and you don't have to do any karma. So he is giving the example of Janaka, Ashwapati, etc., those who are the Rajarshis. That Janaka and others who had ruled the kingdom, being knowers, they have ruled the kingdom. So, even if you feel that you know, you should still fight, because that is what has to be done for the benefit of the society. Why? Benefit of the society means Loka Sangraha. Yesterday I told you some little bit of it. Loka Sangraha means Lokasya Unmarga Pravritti Nivaranam. Unmarga Pravritti Nivaranam karma is called Loka Sangraha. That means left to itself, the society will degenerate, because all the individuals are selfish, they have their competition, they have their greed. So when such particles interact with each other, they will always degenerate. So the society will get degenerated. In a few 100 years it will get degenerate. As you see in the whole world, the earlier old civilization, how they got completely demolished. Even the present civilization, we are so much looking with awe at the US and Europe. What has happened to their civilization? We should be able to look deeply in it. They have much more of civic sense than us. Those gunas are there. But at the same time, you look into their mind, they are losing their spirit completely. The whole civilization is dying almost. That is why they are looking for spirituality. Now they might be more after yoga. But later on they will take to the Jnana Yoga also. Now yoga has become the most famous business all over the world, that most paying business all over the world. I told you, in a yoga camp, I said that our Shastras have introduced the yoga for Tyaga, but you are all taking to yoga for Bhoga. The whole Western world is taking to yoga for increasing their Bhoga. Let them increase, then they will become dissatisfied with that also. Then they will take to knowledge. But already there are many who take to this. Many people are there who take to this. So this is necessary for the, as I said yesterday, that the creating the centripetal force in the society. Centrifugal means which takes us away from the center. That means all the attraction, repulsion, the raga, dvesha we are constantly harboring, we are hosting. They are always taking us away from the center, away from our real identity. Is it not? Always we are either clinging to something or hating something, always running after something or running away from something. So the mind is always extrovert. So this is happening not because of the world, this is happening because of our ragadvesha for the world objects and world situations. That we should understand. Even after knowledge also the world will remain the world, nothing will change there. He will be only freed of the ragadvesha. So the centrifugal force generated, that is, which is pulling us away from the center, from our Atma, is because of our special clinging to what I like and hatred towards what I dislike. That is pulling us away, not the objects themselves. If we can treat our ragadvesha, then we will not be pulled and pushed by the objects anymore. Yoga Vasishta says, Purne manasi sampurnam jagat sarvam sudhadravaihi upanad gudhapadasya nanu charmastrutaiva bhuhu. Purne manasi sampurnam. When the mind becomes full with what? As long as there is division, subject-object division is there, the whole world division is there, mind cannot become full. Only when we go to the non-dual position, that Atma, Sarvavyapi Atma, we get merged in it, then only the mind becomes full. Because there is no second. Fullness in this case, in spirituality, fullness means there is no second to interact with. Only that is covering everything. So when the mind becomes full, then Jagat Sarvam Sudhadravaihi Sampurnam Bhavati. The whole world gets flooded with the nectar. Jagat Sarvam Sudhadravaihi Sampurnam Bhavati. When the mind becomes full, the whole world also becomes full. Upanad Gudhapadasya Nanu Charma Astrita Eva Bhuhu. Suppose you want to walk without touching the dirt, without touching the dust. Are you going to cover up the whole earth with leather? Or you will put on shoes? When you cover your feet with the leather, you walk anywhere. The dust is not touching you. Like that, we cannot change the world. The world will remain as it is. But we have to we have to remove the ragadvesha from our mind, like putting on the shoes. Then we will interact with the same world without getting affected by it. So he says, karmanaiva hi samsiddhim asthita janakadayah lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. So he said that Janaka and others, that means other Rajarshis, even Rama also is regarded as a Rajarshi. Rama's Vamsha, in Raghuvamsha, many were Rajarshis. Ashwapati was a Rajarshi. Like that, there were many Rajarshis. In our country, Rajarshis were quite much. So many Rajarshis are there. So all of them, they attained their Siddhi remaining active. So why are you doubting, O Arjuna, that remaining active or fighting a war, you cannot attain Siddhi? That means he is not able to accept Krishna's words fully. So he says, why are you doubting? There is enough example of it. Janaka and others, they did not leave their work. They attained the Siddhi remaining active throughout. Okay, you may have doubt that, well, Janaka perhaps did not attain the ultimate, who knows? Arjuna may raise, the seekers will always put up something or other as question. So if Janaka perhaps was not, then what is it? He says, at least if it is so, loka sangraham evapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. You should work for the loka sangraha. That is what he says that Janaka others also did. And that is what Krishna will say that he is also doing. What is loka sangraha? Just